Hey guys, you ever wonder what that check engine light is trying to tell you? Some people try to cover it up, unplug it, or dismiss it as an unsolved mystery. But with Innova, you could easily identify both the problem and what it takes to fix it, like having a personal mechanic in your pocket. Identifying the problem is easy. Connect your Innova OBD2 diagnostic tool using features like hotkeys in the patented all-in-one display. Scan your vehicle's onboard computers to detect for any malfunctions. By pairing your tool with Innova's all-new Repair Solutions 2 mobile app, you'll now have free access to over 60 million fixed solutions that are verified for accuracy by real ASE certified technicians. Sorry, you're going to have to chop this a little bit. But it doesn't stop there. Repair Solutions 2 is the complete solution. In the app, you'll find troubleshooting information and even be able to order the right parts for the job. And if you still have questions, Innova's USA-based customer support team is always available to help, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time, 6 days a week. Innova tools speak your car's language, so you don't have to. Now, buy Innova tools at all major automotive retailers, Amazon, and Innova.com to find the problem and fix the problem. Now, here's the deal. You got to go to Innova.com to use our discount code. So INNOVA, Innova.com, code TST will get you a 20% discount and free shipping off your order until October 16th. That's code TST, gets you a 20% discount at Innova.com and free shipping on your order until October 16th. Innova Electronics. Find the problem, fix the problem. Guys, you never know when you're going to get a ticket. Even if you're using countermeasures, even if you're running Waze, you could still get nailed. And it might be somewhere far from home. Sure, you might have the lay of the land in your own city, right? Maybe you've got your own personal lawyer. What if you get nabbed out of state? What if you get nabbed 500 miles from your house, place you've never been? Offtherecord.com/TST, guys. You could fight all your traffic tickets. You should always fight your traffic tickets. Traffic tickets are an entire economic system in which municipalities and insurance companies bilk you out of money. It's not about safety. It's about revenue, guys. So always fight your tickets and use offtherecord.com/TST or use code TST10 on the Off the Record app. If you get the app on iOS and Android, that'll get you 10% off their legal services. Off the Record has a 97% success rate getting these tickets off your record. Our homie David Patterson, that dude in blue, got a big one on adventure drives. A really big one. I hooked him up with Off the Record. Handled, no points, no problem. It didn't disappear entirely. Didn't totally vanish, but no points, basic fine, moving on. It's exactly how you want it.
Yes.
And so offtherecord.com/TST or code TST10 on the Off the Record app. That'll get you 10% off all legal fees. And you should save that code now because it's good until May of 2023. So you never know when you're going to need it. So make the account now, whatever, save it. And that way when you get pulled over, just be like, this is no problem. I got Off the Record in my pocket, ready to go. And lastly, guys, we are looking for cars, tuner cars specifically, for the West Coast regional of our new show, Sorted, brought to you by Autotempest.com. Me, Rob Ferretti, Amelia Hartford, Tanner Faust are testing your tuner cars, the best tuner cars in the country, the best we can find anyway, the best that are being submitted at sortedornot.com. Zach, why does that video look like I'm eating a hamburger? I don't know. It does, though.
Rob, it's called promo draft.
At sortedornot.com, you will learn how to enter, who's going, who's involved, the whole deal. The West Coast Regional is going to be October 13th and 14th in Palm Springs at Chuckawalla Valley Raceway. And so you learn everything you need to know at sortedornot.com. And it's going to be really fun. The East Coast Regional went super well. We're really, really excited about it. And so go to sortedornot.com. That show is, I can't thank Auto Tempest enough. Auto Tempest, all the cars, one place. Alrighty then, on this episode of the podcast, my boy Marco Gerace, the owner of TLG Auto, Porsche specialist, enthusiast, and a very good friend of mine, a hell of a guy, is in studio, and we are frankly all over the place on this one. It's only barely about cars, and even then, not till we're like 40 minutes in. Sorry, not sorry, Marco Gerace of TLG Auto on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
Sound
Make
wonderful.
yours look like mine.
Yeah, exactly what I'm doing. Cool like you.
L'chaim.
Cheerio.
Happy Rosh Hashanah, late.
That's right. It is the new year. Mm-hmm. It is the new.
You're the
new.
Are you the non-Jewish half of your couple?
No, I'm Jewish, but she's Jewish enough for both of us.
Marco's wife is a rabbi, which is
Literally.
awesome. Literally is a rabbi, and so yeah. So there's a lot of Judaism in the room. Whoa, zoom out.
Oh, too much?
Ah!
Where do we want it?
Back away. Back away. No, Hannah told me she doesn't like the 3-cam, Jay. She says it. She said she doesn't like the 2-cam when it's showing both the guest and I.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Because this
it's
is not a good angle for me. I look like Rush Limbaugh from this angle. It's terrible.
You want to speak into the mic?
Yeah, we might have to figure out another angle, but the dead side on has never been my best.
We can do all the. That's the
This
nice
one,
thing about what you built here.
The
We can do
45 is
anything.
good, and Marco looks fucking regal over
Really?
there. Yeah,
How
yeah.
fat do I look?
Less fat than me, I assure
Camera
you.
adds 55 pounds.
The
That's what I've been
beard
told.
adds. You know, it's funny. The commenters point out that I look fat or I look thin, and it has more to do with whether or not I've like shaved in a week or so than anything else.
I wear the beard because it makes me look thinner.
Do you think so?
Oh, I got jowls. Yeah.
Oh, it's the cover up.
Yeah.
No, the
Oh,
cover
yeah.
up is an understandable position at our.
At our age.
I mean, I started the goatee probably as the cover up in like middle school. I had a goatee when I was 14.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a mustache and a goatee, but I couldn't fill in the sides, you know?
Well, have you seen the picture in the
Oh, yeah.
elevator? The picture in the elevator is me at 17 with the smash mouth chin
Let's
strap.
talk about that.
It's Paulie Jr.
Let's.
from American Chopper all day long.
Paulie Jr. wasn't, bro. I don't
wasn't
think
a thing
Paulie
yet.
Jr. came out until.
good point.
I
So
mean,
you were
that must have been
before.
early 2000. Yeah, no, that photo was taken in 1997.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's older than I thought.
That chin strap was much more
I didn't realize.
somewhere in between Smash Mouth and Korn.
Great.
It was a real transitionary period.
For everybody.
Right.
Not just you.
Before that period was more Korn, Rage Against the Machine, and after that period was a little more Greenwich, Connecticut. Flat
Moving
boy.
up in the world.
Flat boy. Well, I'm leaning on my brand new Subaru in that picture, so that points you in a direction.
That was not a good facial hair decision. If you
No,
ask
but
me.
it was short-lived, actually.
Okay.
The funniest thing about the childhood facial hair is that I went for the goatee at 14, which was super useful. Genuinely.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was like 6'1". I bought everybody beer and
You were the
alcohol.
guy. Yeah.
I was the guy. And I didn't drink. My parents had me so
That was me too.
scared that they would. My parents told me if they caught me drinking that they would cancel my car insurance.
Ooh.
And at the time, having my license in my car was like the most important thing. So I didn't drink. I drove everybody around.
the driver.
And I was also the beer dealer. 100% markup. 100%.
See, you
dude.
figured out how to
the
monetize very
hustle
early on.
was strong.
Yeah.
Homie had gas money.
Perpetual gas money.
A lot of gas money.
You know the saying, it's what is it, gas, grass, or ass? Nobody rides for free.
Right. Shout out to the Sunoco station in Portchester. Y'all were illegally selling to me for a minute.
And I know where you're talking about.
Right?
That's
You know that
awesome.
Sunoco?
Yeah, that's
Bro.
where the Connecticut kids would go across the border
Exactly.
to go buy their booze. I didn't
First
drink either.
exit on 287, bro. It's right there. Two rights.
We had our liquor store at Roscoe and DeSoto in the Valley.
That's like, isn't that like where basically Fast Times was, pretty much?
Not really, no.
No?
No, that was more Van Nuys.
That's Van Nuys.
Yeah, that was,
Shot
that was
down.
east.
No.
Well, that was just east of there. It's kind of where I live now, actually.
I just can't. To me, the Valley is really one place. There's
Yeah.
not. There's not.
It's a
there's not a lot
small-
of. I know you both live there, but I have to say, from this side of the hill, there's not a lot of sub Valley.
The funny thing is,
It's north and south of Victory, east and west of like.
Oh, is that it? What's north and south of Victory? What happened?
Well, the further north, north of Victory, it gets a little bit more open. You know, like
backyards and stuff.
bigger properties. South of Victory, it gets a little more people-y and congested.
I kind of like where the Valley ends on the north side. the very north end.
Oh, you like Chatsworth and
yeah,
Northridge.
I kind of like up the north
Granada
part.
Hills.
Yeah,
That's really nice
yeah.
up there. Windy as shit, though. I hate the wind.
To end the dumb story, my mom had a portrait commissioned to me when I was 16. She told like a painting portrait.
Yeah.
And white people. And she told.
Was it on velvet?
It was, and then and she, I had to sit. I didn't sit for the portrait. They photographed me and then did the painting from that. But my mom told the lady, she goes, "Listen, the beard thing is like a phase. Can you get rid of the beard?" So there's the portrait of me that still hangs in my parents' house right now that is of a version of me that absolutely never existed.
That's amazing.
There's no version of me in high school that does not have a beard. And yet there's a portrait of me looking just like that.
Preserved forever.
It doesn't fucking exist.
Oh, that's amazing.
How's that wine?
It's fantastic.
It's okay, right?
Yeah, it's not bad.
I kind of like this wine.
It's easy. It's easy drinking.
This wine, it's called Rabble. They didn't pay me to say that.
I thought this was Rabbi. That's why I went for it.
I usually buy it. I bought it because of the picture, actually. The artwork, the label artwork is beautiful. So it used to be called Force of Nature.
Oh,
Remember?
yes.
This
it was
label
like a
stuff.
Tempranillo.
Yeah, well, they had a few different varieties.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. And I looked them up, and it was someone owned a vineyard somewhere, and their son created the brand for like a school project.
That's right on.
Yeah, it was so right on that they got trademark infringement, and then you saw it, it went away.
Oh.
And now it came back with a very similar style and the exact same wine, except it's called Rabble.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really, it was good.
It's cheaper.
I had their Tempranillo.
It's
the
good.
Force of Nature Tempranillo was really good.
Yeah, well, when it went away, I was like, oh man, that's a bummer. And then
Yeah.
I saw these labels again. I was like, hold up.
Time for a deep dive.
Hold up. Trademark infringement resolved.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. That's a required
Probably
a whole
for the
rebrand.
best. Probably for the best. Naming shit is really hard,
It is.
dude. My dad has been at the center of global corporations that have had to, when you rename a company, so my dad used to work at Woolworth. Remember Woolworth? Everyone remembers
Five
Woolworth,
and
right?
dime.
The 5 and dime. You know how they don't exist anymore?
Yeah.
That's my dad. My dad is the reason that they don't exist anymore. It was a terrible, it was for what it was in the 30s or whatever, it was fine. But it was a dying brand, and my dad killed it. The parent company was also called Woolworth. They owned Woolworth stores. They also owned Foot Locker and a bunch of other shit that actually made money. So they killed Woolworth. Well, now you got to rename the parent company.
Right.
Well, the parent company did business in 120 countries or whatever, because Foot Locker's fucking everywhere.
Right.
So you have to rename, if you want your company name to be valid in all those countries, it has to be a word that's not trademarked in any of these countries. It's
Oh my
crazy.
God.
I was not involved. I was 15 or something. But we went, he and the board and all these people, whatever, professionals, went through just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of names. It's really, really difficult to
That's
name
when you
stuff.
flip open a dictionary
Yep.
and you just go, "Broop." Let's go to the Q section.
You know what the move is, as I learned? You want to flip open the Latin dictionary.
Ooh,
Because
here you
the
go.
name they settled on was Venator, which is just the Latin word for hunter or something like hunter.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking boring ass name, but coming up with a regular boring ass name is really difficult.
So let's pull a dead language.
Yeah, that's how shit goes. Yeah.
Syrian
Or
Aramaic.
come up with some genius shit like the smoking tire.
Yeah, that works
Which I
out.
own the fucking trademark for.
That's good. Yeah,
Yay.
I was looking into TLG when we incorporated, and there was almost a chance we weren't going to get it,
Just
even
because
though
it was too general?
No, because if there was another TLG in our 40-year history, it's 1978, so 42 years or whatever. If my dad never incorporated, it was just a.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was a fictitious business name, and it was what do you call those things?
I'm so afraid of paperwork, and then I
shit.
hear stories like this. Yeah, dude operated for 40 years.
like a
No
show-
paperwork.
like a
no,
show
it was
company.
it was totally legal, but it was it's
Out of the Caribbean.
owner operator. I forget what the fucking thing is named. My name it escapes me at the moment. But anyway, so when I incorporated the business, I had to look through any corporations in basically America that were TLG or TLG Auto or TLG Auto Inc. or you move a period, you drop the Inc.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
suddenly it's a different name and you can get it. But
Did you find anything?
Yeah, I was able to get TLG Auto Inc.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
it worked out.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like one of those funny things you don't think about until you go to do the paperwork and they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So then you have a DBA, right? It's like the Marco Corporation, DBA TLG.
Right,
You're like,
right.
what? That's just ridiculous.
I mean, man, that's how shit works, and I can't. Finance stuff just confuses the shit out of me.
Paperwork
I'm happy.
confuses me.
Yeah, paperwork too. I just told you my horrible paperwork story about fucking everything up.
I'm sticking to what I know.
I hired a CFO for Westside, an hourly CFO, and he's the CFO of like 10 different companies. So I hire him he works for me like 8 hours a month.
Okay.
But he's great. He's great. He covers bookkeeping and like financial advice and like keeping me on the right side of the IRS and all this shit. And like, I don't have to think about it.
Right.
It's like, if there's a problem, I'll hear from Craig.
Well, it's a good business.
Yeah.
I mean,
great.
Yeah, outsource that shit.
Yeah. How's life?
Life is actually good now. I mean,
Getting better.
yeah. I mean, we went through a lot of personal stuff. My wife had cancer, and so that took a lot out of all of us, the family in general. God, I'm having some wicked deja vu. Like I've talked about this before.
That happens.
But yeah, so she had her treatment.
She was looking great at the open house. She came to say hi.
Yeah, well, I mean, she stopped her treatment because she finished it, and her hair's growing back, and
I thought she was killing the shaved head look pretty nicely, though.
she wore it well.
Looked pretty good.
Yeah,
I was
she
kind
wore
of
it well.
about it. It's very efficient, too.
I shaved her head.
A fan of Porsche can't argue with the efficiency of that hairstyle.
It was interesting. We had to bring the kids in, like when we did it, so they didn't freak out when mommy had no hair and like think she was a different person.
It's something you don't think about when you don't have
Right.
kids. Right?
That's why my wife is really good about that stuff, man. She thinks about these things.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, cut your hair off, and she's like, we have to have the kids home. We got to talk to them about it.
Being a mother and a rabbi, she's probably got that.
Her
got
fingers
that
on the
covered.
pulse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, she finished her chemotherapy, and now she's kind of into the waiting stage for. I think they move into like hormone therapy and the pills and like the next phase of her treatment, and it's 5 years of like all of this maintenance work you have to do. And after 5 years, if you don't have a positive test, you're considered cancer-free. Until then, you're in remission. So, we had that personal stuff happening. Our family is amazing. They all stepped up. Everybody stepped up. Cousins, sisters-in-law, parents, everybody stepped up and just was super helpful when my wife's, beat down by not only...
And weed growers.
Yeah,
throwing
that's right.
little ganja on the fire.
That's right. Yeah,
So I hear.
One of my clients is Chris.
Shout out to Chris. You know
Shout
who
out
you
to
are,
Chris. And I told Chris what was going on. He's like, "Oh, let me get her all this stuff. It'll make her feel great. Your appetite's going to be awesome." So
Did that work out?
Yeah, it worked out really well. There was some CBD
that's
stuff that was really, really helpful. It was like less THC, more CBD.
Yeah.
And that was
Well, that's where the medicine is.
that's where it hit, man. And it was good for her. It's
That's awesome. Well, l'chaim for Amy.
yeah.
That guy helps Nicole too, by the way. So shout out to Chris for real.
Yeah, what is
He really
it's
helps us a lot.
FWB?
He's a medicine dealer.
Fountain of Well-being.
Yeah, FWB in,
and he
in
is a
North
medicine.
Hollywood.
I do agree with that fully.
He's on the ball. Like he really cares about people's health and well-being.
That's kind of what I mean. Like I don't know if it was the same for you, but he would ask us like, so, all right, this mixture of this Rick Simpson oil that he would make for her, like, all right, is this one, what does it do? Is this help her brain? Can she still function? What happens?
The Rick
And he would
Simpson
really-
oil is the hard. That's the gnarly shit.
Is it? Yeah, I
That's
think
the raw resin.
Yeah, I think so because
yeah.
it looks and tastes freaking awful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely disgusting. But he would ask like each time, like, oh, does this help with whatever? And then the next batch would be a little bit more tailored to whatever the heck.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's like turning the dials, you know, like trying to dial it in
adjust
for
that
each
mix.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
When nothing else will help, I mean, like, it's kind of amazing to have something.
It's just nice to know that people are out there that actually really care about your health and well-being
Yeah.
and your quality of life. And that's what he said. He's like, hey, when we want to make sure that she's comfortable because this is going to suck.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, whatever you got, I'm willing to.
That's a very practical stance to take.
Yeah, and so it was really helpful. Like everybody really stepped up, and so she got through it, and now she's back into work. Except it's the busiest time
It's
of
the high
year
holidays.
for the rabbis.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's really different for everybody.
What's going on at what are you having outdoor services?
No, it's all Zoom.
It's fucking Zoom services.
Yes, it's crazy.
What's
man.
that about?
Do
people dress up still?
I don't know.
You're like, I'm at work.
Well, no, I mean,
I'm building a 964 motor.
I watched a little bit of it. I mean, I had to because
Did she do it from the house?
Well, my wife isn't a pulpit rabbi. My wife's a teaching rabbi. So she's like the head of the Hebrew school. She develops curriculums and, it kind of helps with the Jewish identity stuff.
Got it.
Right? And cultural identity. So, she helps with the services in her own way. I don't know exactly what she contributed specifically.
Okay, cool.
But I know she works on youth programs.
I didn't realize she didn't pulpit rabbi also.
She does when asked, but that's
okay.
not her primary function. Like, that's not what she does day to day.
Yeah, okay.
She's
I
the
didn't
head of the
realize
Hebrew
that.
school, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So
well,
anyway,
she's a lot nicer than the lady who headed up my fucking Hebrew school. I'll tell you that. That lady sucked.
yeah, my head
And
rabbi
Andy
was
rules.
rough.
Yeah.
He was.
If I had her
dick.
as a Hebrew school head director, I might have been a little nicer to the staff at Hebrew school.
That's funny. That's a lot. Yeah. I mean,
It's hard when you're a kid. If you're a kid in the modern era, religion,
it's hard.
in modern life is going to be a pretty tough sell. You want a kid to really be religious, you got to get him into a cult and early.
I don't know about being religious so much as being just, in touch with your cultural roots. I don't really.
I like the cultural part of Judaism.
Yeah.
I just don't like the idea that an all-knowing God needs you to speak fucking Hebrew to him. That's all.
I mean,
I
that's-
took
but
that.
that's
I took that as an
cultural.
insult as a child.
The language is a cultural extension, or an extension of the culture.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man, take what you like and leave the rest.
That's what you don't get to do as a child.
Right? No, I know.
As an
it
adult,
was hard for
yeah.
me. I mean, did I ever think I'd marry a rabbi? No, but I did, and it's great. And I love my wife, and she's awesome. And I tell you, I probably wouldn't get this far without her. She's like so smart.
Yeah, my wife as well.
Yeah.
I would not. Yeah, I'd be fucking lost in the woods.
I would be spun out, man.
Yeah.
Spun out. So it's cool. It's
That's
cool.
good. That's
so,
all good.
So yeah, it's just new. Everything's
that
new.
and you're incorporated. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's been big for me these last few years. It's been a big few years. Yeah, we're actually coming up on our 7th wedding anniversary next month. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
How weird is it that when you get married, you all of a sudden throw away your dating anniversary and jump over to this wedding
Yeah.
anniversary?
Did
garbage.
you have a dating anniversary?
Well,
like when you met,
I
right?
don't know how long it was between when you met and when you got married, but for us it was 5 years. So we had a pretty firm anniversary on August 28th. Then all of a sudden we get married April 20th, and it's like, hold up. But what happened on August 28th, which this
good
year
memory.
was fuck all. Yeah, we didn't do nothing.
It's
nothing.
a great memory to have.
Yeah, but Hannah's like, wait, but are you saying that we move the day and we start over at 0? She's all, I put this time in.
Yeah. I'm invested here.
Bullshit.
That's funny.
Oh man, how's everyone doing out in the YouTubes? If you guys want us to do Q&A today, we can do for the live audience. We can do the second half.
Yeah.
We can do a bunch
There's
of Q&A.
definitely questions.
But we should talk about my fake aged Seiko.
That's one
I
of the
dig that.
questions.
Extremely stoked on the fake aged Seiko. I wouldn't. So some people on my Instagram did not understand fake aging, or that it was done, or the problem
Gotta
with
watch
fake
out for
aging
it,
is
too.
it's done a lot.
Yeah, with things of
Things of
significant
value. Yeah, in an attempt to create false value, right, where there was none.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you are looking at a used Rolex that's $40,000 and has a ghosted bezel, look fucking carefully, and maybe you can't even tell. Maybe you can't even tell.
Right.
How would you know? You know what I mean?
There are people who do. That's
There
the
are
thing.
people who can, but sometimes it's very hard to tell.
Yeah, sometimes you have to take the watch apart and look at the back side of the dial.
Yeah.
And,
If you're buying something like that, independent experts are worth their weight in gold.
Yes, they are, as we know.
On the other hand, if you buy a $300 gold Seiko on Amazon,
Toss that bitch in the oven.
I sent it to this dude. He's Shadow Watchmaker on Instagram, and someone at a car show told me about him. I saw someone wearing something that was aged like this at Cars and Coffee, and I fucking darted to that fool. And I was like, "Oh, what is that?" And he hooked me up. He sent me to this guy. And this guy is very cool, and he's local. He's in Cerritos. Oh, there's my watch. Nice. And I really liked his work. Look at that. Look at that gray dial. That's beautiful right there. And he was very cool. $80 for this.
That's great.
I mean, bro, there's not a lot of really good values in
that's
watchmaking.
amazing.
Really? He did the aging for $80.
That's
It was
pretty
beautiful.
awesome.
He did the bezel, he did the dial, he did the loom, he did the date wheel, the hands.
That's the cool part. The date wheel makes
Yes.
it really cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So I saw it before this watch even made it back to the shop. But when he just sent me the picture going, it's done. Do you like it? I instantly, I mean, within the next 5 minutes, bought another Seiko just to send to the studio. I was like, yes, I like it, and here we go. A new rabbit hole.
I like it, man. It's good.
Cameron at Craft and Tailored. Shout out to Cameron at Craft and Tailored. I see. He said he gave the approval, and he is a man of discerning taste.
Yeah.
We went over there the other day.
That was
Jay,
that was fun.
Marco and I went to Craft and Tailored the other day, and they laid out
Where's their shop?
downtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, down in like the bank building on 4th
What do you
Street.
think he laid on the table? 3 to 4 million?
There was a lot of money on the table.
3 to 4 million in watches on the table. Probably like 15, 20 watches. Nothing
I was
less
going to ask
than
what that looks like. So maybe 20 watches.
Go to my Instagram.
Yeah.
Scroll back. I did. I showed it. Scroll back like a couple weeks on my my Instagram. If you scroll down, there's a big pile of watches on a table. Keep going. Keep it going. Oh wait. Go up. Was it just the one? Maybe it's just one watch.
No,
go up.
I think
up,
you did some story posts with it.
Up there. That's it. Left column. Sorry, radio people. I'm sorry. But these are just extreme
there you go.
rarities and
Wow.
not oddities, but very, very rare mint vintage pieces.
That Paddock is nuts. You had he had that that other Paddock, the one that was gold.
The Beta.
The Beta. What is Beta 21?
Man, could you spend
Beta 41?
$40,000 on a quartz watch? I don't know if I could, but that was a brick of gold.
It was. It's worth. Its
Go
weight
back
in gold.
left, Jay. The one more. Keep going. The
It's,
big
like,
gold
awkward.
fucking brick.
It's
That.
awkward, but it's so
So
cool.
that it looks like a 70s television
It does.
with a bracelet that's made of gold mesh. There's probably, God, it's got to be
Pound.
a pound.
It feels like it.
It's probably a pound of gold.
Jeez.
I mean, it's so big. Like Patek Philippe watches typically are very small, slender, petite
Yep.
things, and you go, I'm sorry, $100,000 for this?
5712 or whatever. 5711.
But this one Patek is not like that at all. It's literally like, here's the most basic movement, a quartz movement, although the Patek quartz movement is still head and shoulders above anything else.
Like what is it? The quartz.
It's a Beta
Rolex.
21.
No, the Rolex quartz. What is it?
Oh, the oyster quartz.
Oyster quartz.
Oyster quartzes are very cool.
That's a.
But
dope
this
watch.
has a sweep. This is a quartz with a sweep.
That's right. It was a full sweep. Yeah.
But it's 45 fucking millimeters of solid gold.
It's big, but it doesn't wear big.
It wears big.
Does it?
It wears big.
It couldn't be bigger than this.
It's like wearing a big gold TV strapped to your
this
fucking
is how
wrist.
I justify it to myself. That doesn't wear that big.
That's a fucking like John Holmes watch. That's a crazy.
It's like a lighthouse.
It's like swinging like one of those like warm up weights on a bat, swinging that shit around.
Shout out to everybody over
You get-
45 who gets that reference,
Yeah.
by the way.
Does no one else play? Is that a baseball reference?
No.
Is that what you
the
meant
the
by John Holmes?
Oh, the John Holmes. Oh, does
John
no one else
Holmes.
know who John Holmes is?
Anyone seen Boogie Nights?
Well, yes, but it's the Dirk Diggler
Is that based
inspiration.
on him? Of course, because
Yeah,
of the
well, I mean,
size.
Yeah,
Loosely,
it was a Dirk- it was an
loosely, of course.
inspiration.
Sure, that didn't
Yeah.
occur to me.
Yeah. The Wonderland murders and stuff? Like, it's all kind of incorporated in Boogie Nights.
It makes perfect sense now, but I just, the two guys with the big deal forgot about it.
So bad. This bottle's taking an awfully prominent position in the shot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I just was looking.
considering-
I'll
I was
consume
just
it
looking
for
at the
you.
shot. I'm
Don't worry
like, you
about
know
it.
what? Them homies didn't pay for that.
Well, we're trying to give you a more flattering.
I'll consume it. Don't worry.
oh man,
Is this more to your liking though? This two?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, good.
It's better.
This
Not
is
for
for
Marco,
Hannah.
but for me.
Shot for Hannah.
I don't look
okay.
good
It's
at
not
any
your
angle.
show.
Don't worry about it.
don't sell yourself short.
Yeah,
You're
I
good.
am short.
All you yes. Be short. Did you watch the Challenger thing?
Challenger thing?
I guess not.
Netflix.
The
No.
Netflix doc on the Challenger.
I started
not
it
yet.
and I'm going to finish it
All
for
right.
sure. It was.
Well, I won't give away how it ends.
Oh no! Don't tell me. I'm really
They-
pulling for the school teacher.
They die. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
I remember that.
It's
I came
very
home-
sad. I
came
cried
home-
twice watching it. Yeah.
I came home from school that day, and I remember my mom watching it on the TV. And I asked her what happened, and she told me. And I just couldn't process it as, what is it, an
84. 86.
I was going to say, as an 8 or
86, sorry.
6-year-old kid,
Yeah.
I couldn't process it.
You didn't watch it in school?
No.
Yeah.
We watched
Hannah
the,
was watching it in school live and remembers very vividly watching it in school live. I was a little too young.
No, I was 6 years old, so no.
Yeah. I was
But
1 year below that.
Yeah.
So nah.
So the funny
not
thing
in
is,
kindergarten. They didn't fuck with space shuttle.
I don't want to get like down a dark rabbit hole or whatever, but like there were certain things I remember watching in school, like when they rolled the TV in, that's strapped to the cart. You know, one of them was the
ratchet strap.
Yeah,
the ratchet strap to the cart.
Yeah. Everybody had that. I think ours was like Velcro, like this gnarly Velcro. But the Timothy McVeigh.
Oh yeah,
Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
they rolled the TV in for that, just so we could watch the aftermath and like the news.
Well, that was because the kids too, right? Because wasn't that?
Because there was like a daycare. There was
a daycare.
There.
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but like you think about the tragic human like affairs that happen.
I was thinking that as I clanked my glass against the microphone.
Cheers, right?
That's how we get off that. Cars.
Perfect.
Cars.
So anyway, we were.
I drove the GTI last week.
How was it? No,
Nice.
I was really excited that you were going to drive that car.
You know what happens when you drive? I drove the Mark 7 when it first came out, and then this is like the very end of the Mark 7. I drove I don't know 300 cars in between. You get back in a GTI, you sit in, you go,
that's a GTI.
Well, this is set up nicely.
They're great little cars.
The seat is nice, and the steering wheel is the right thing, and the driving position is excellent. And
was it a DSG car?
No, it's a stick.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But like,
I had an 09 stick.
Remember when Jeremy Clarkson got divorced and lost all his money and bought a GTI, and he was like, "Actually, a GTI is all you need." Yeah, and he didn't sound Scottish like that, but that was Sean Connery in a GTI, well, not Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh, money penny.
Actually, a GTI is really all you need. But sorry, I'm retarded.
I thought it was great.
Anyway, it's so usable every day that it's like the controls are like a little too light. Like you can't really
feel. The clutch is
it.
really numb.
The clutch is really, really numb.
Yeah, the clutch is numb.
Is there a way to modify them to fix that?
I don't know. Never modified one.
I guess not.
I just put an APR tune in mine.
Guess how many emails, tweets, and Instagram messages I'm going to get for saying that out loud on this podcast?
Well, that's your problem. Not mine.
By next week, I'm going to have 3 dozen ways to fix the dead clutch in a GTI.
The first one is buy a DSG.
Well, you don't want to say that out loud because you go against the manual transmission enthusiast clubs. But it's clear that they've put a lot of effort into the DSG and they haven't really put that much into the manual. Like, it's still good, but like where it's less good than say the Fords were is like in traffic. In traffic, because like you said, the dead clutch, right?
It's numb, yeah.
So you have to do it like by the vehicle moving. Like, you know what I mean? You get off the clutch and it's when the car starts moving, it's not the feel through your foot. And so actually I had more, I don't want to say trouble, but like, you know, for someone who drives a lot of different shit, I really go off of feel.
Right.
And when you take the feel away and force me to learn timing, the adjustment curve was longer than I expected it to be.
Interesting. I had an 09 GTI stick that was great, except it was really numb feeling. And I tried to teach my wife to drive in that car, and she couldn't handle it. There's no way to measure the engagement point.
Right. You have to actually look at the tack and do that. It's hard.
And so we switched over to a DSG, and she's still mad at me that we sold it when we had her kid. You
can get another one.
Oh, I'll get another one eventually.
It's basically the same car
but
right
it's
now.
Awesome. I mean, I had a 13, so I think the new one has a better differential.
It
doesn't torque steer
It
as
has a
much.
limited slip now. No, the one I drove did not, even with the stick, did not with the limited slip. Did
my
not torque
13 would just
I remember the last one
like
did. This one doesn't anymore. But so it's like when you're in a gear and you're in boost, the response is very good.
Yeah.
Like in the canyons, like third gear in boost, like it's great, right?
Feel through the wheels,
but
good.
it's all about when there's no load on the engine, then there's no feel. So coming off the line or doing maybe like a blip, but at a lower to medium throttle position, it's harder to match the timing because the feel isn't there. Like I actually go back to like the Safari or something, you know, where the clutch weighs 20,000 pounds, but I can feel where the friction point starts, where the friction point ends, you know, through my foot.
Right.
And it becomes a little easier.
Well,
other than that, like that sounds like a lot of complaining. It's not a lot of complaining.
It's
the
not
GTI is
just one
a really
thing.
nice car.
Yeah, that's
like,
just one minor part of a bigger picture. And I think
it kind of made me want to listen to Jason Camisa and get an e-Golf as a daily.
I looked at an e-Golf, but I just couldn't justify it for kind of where it took me. You know, like what I would need it for.
Yeah.
I just
If
felt like
Hannah was not working from home and actually needed to like leave the house for anything, then maybe.
didn't you have like an electric Fiat or something?
No, I had a Volt.
Oh, Volt.
And I loved
No,
it.
Hannah, didn't she have like an electric
No.
Fiat? Oh, for some reason I thought she
We
did.
had like an intern like 5 years ago that did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have no electric Fiats are fine.
They were cheap, $100
They
a
were
month or
very
something
cheap.
like that.
Yeah.
They were paying you to
No,
take them and
they're
drive
they're
them.
fine. And now this dude I know, John Guzik, owns a company called Borrow. That's like a zip car, but for EVs. And the homie goes to the wholesale lots, and he cops off lease 500Es and smart EVs for like 12 pennies.
Really?
Yeah. Like for like.
Throw
like
them away.
crumbs, like
Yeah.
just they fall like crumbs.
Well,
From
that's because if
auctions.
you ever need a battery, it's the price of the car.
Right, but at that price of that car, you throw it away.
Yeah. Where does that
Like,
leave us?
I mean, of course, it's terrible.
Push it into a hole in Nevada.
Well, this is, I mean, I would really like to find an expert in battery disposal and talk to them, because I want to love EVs, and I do love driving EVs. I do. Driving EVs in the city is the best. They're so great. I'm so much more relaxed whenever I arrive. I'm so much more relaxed in an EV.
Really?
Oh yeah. Have you not fucked with EVs much?
Amy's, my wife's dad has a Tesla that we drove to see you. Actually, we took it to dinner
I think
at
you
your
brought
place.
But to me, when I would drive an EV somewhere, the lack of vibration from the engine, the lack of strain, the not lack of abruptness from any gear changes or anything like that, the lack of noise.
You could one pedal those cars.
You can one pedal, it really is a much more relaxing experience. Right there, buddy.
I tried to be slick, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, and so I totally understand it. And I understand the appeal of no tailpipe emissions. I get it. The appeal of not going to a gas station. Like, I get all that shit. But I am unconfident about the acquisition and the disposal of battery material versus a very fuel-efficient car that burns some type of liquid fuel. I'm not being a fucking old fart about this. I'm not
what
like,
do you do with the batteries? That's the thing.
What
That's
happens to
been
them?
my biggest pushback on EV or electric cars from the beginning, hybrids, whatever, is what do you do with the batteries?
And how do we get enough minerals
And what
out
about
of the ground to get to this? I guess we could talk about our
Stasis.
fucking stupid governor and his stupid.
Oh, don't do it.
Do you know how many people sent me this?
2035.
Do you know how many people sent me this? Do you know how fucking dumb this is?
Oh, here we go. I mean, I'm with you. Don't
This
get me
is
wrong.
stupid.
His heart's in the right place.
It's a PR move, though.
Yeah.
It's
Of
just
course.
PR. It's the same thing if any of these automakers that say they're going to be pure electric by 2035 or 2040, whatever.
Agreed.
You get the headline now. And when you roll it back in 5 years, because it's totally fucking impossible, then it's fourth page news, not front page news. This is a very, very reliable strategy from the governor.
I just
but
want to
it's
know about
not
infrastructure.
fucking factually possible.
My question always lands on infrastructure.
2035, dude. That's in 15 years. You know, it took 5 to build this one building.
No,
5. One building. One wire. One wire
But
in
think
the
about
ground.
this. Think about
one.
this. Wait a minute. Think about this. that's pretty amazing. But like,
Eat a dick. 15 years. What are
you
in
heard
this
about
fucking city?
you heard
Get
about
outta
the
here.
rolling blackouts in the West Valley because there were too many people who plugged their cars in and put too much.
Was it because of that, or was it
wasn't
air conditioning?
Just because of that, but like the additional strain on the grid from the electric cars, in addition to the heat wave and all the
was
air
it
conditioning.
actually from that, or was that like a?
It's something that
theory.
I would say it probably is a theory. But
It's
think
got
about
to be
it.
a theory. I can't
It's probably
go on.
It's probably a fact that there's extra load, right?
That's the
Just
thing,
from
it's
that,
the-
but,
it's
but
the
not
load
enough
on the
to
grid.
require that.
I can't. I mean, I don't know. I can't go on the radio
never
and
thought there were
responsibly
gonna
say that it
be.
was EVs that caused that shit.
I didn't say cause.
I cannot say that
I didn't
into
say
a microphone.
cause.
Okay.
I didn't say cause, but
Maybe
it's,
mildly contributed to.
it's
But
an
if you had
additional
a
strain on our infrastructure.
if you had 100% EV adoption or anywhere near it, no,
we'd be living in the dark.
No.
And then we wouldn't have our EVs.
No.
We'd be walking.
not happening.
Bicycles don't require anything. Just to throw that out there.
e-bike does.
I came in and saw the Scoot, man. How's that working out for
Bro,
you?
my carbon footprint is real small.
Is
It's
minuscule.
really, really small.
Yeah, the Scoot looked good.
I drive a dirty car once in a while, and the rest of the time I'm on a fucking single-cylinder 300cc Vespa. That
goes 90.
I just edited the video of the Royal Enfield motorcycle that I was riding for a month. I told them I was going to take it for 2 weeks, but I kept
How'd
it
you
for a
like
month.
it? I mean,
I liked it a lot, actually. It was 5% too small for me. Like
Okay.
just a little bit. Like I
But
can
you're
ride
also
it-
a big guy. For me, it might have been worked. It might have worked out.
For
yeah.
anyone under 6 feet or so tall, it's just fine. And for $6,000, you get a ton of bike. It's very fun to ride. How did a fly get in here? It's very fun to ride. It sounds like an old, British vintage bike, like an old warplane.
I think Royal Enfield. I think rifles.
Right. You
know?
You think England.
I think old rifles.
For an obvious reason. And it was really, really nice. I mean, the video that I made with it is overwhelmingly very complimentary. I only had a couple little issues with it. The trans would, when I was at a stoplight or something and trying to get into first, occasionally I had gotten into a little fight with it and had to, jiggle the bike around and to kick it a few times to get it into gear. It also popped out of sixth gear.
That's
on the highway a couple of times, which is scary the first time, and then you kind of figure out how to deal with it. And the biggest competition unfortunately, for a $6,000 motorcycle is a used $10,000 motorcycle, right?
Right.
So at $6,000, it's a great price, but you're shopping it against lightly used, Triumphs, and also like a whole bunch of Ducati
Hondas.
Monsters and premium bikes, but
The buyer for that is looking for the warranty.
it's a pretty cool little bike. I mean, it was a lot of fun. In general, I really enjoyed riding it. The engine felt good. It sounded good. It's like a Fiat 500 Abarth. Like, is it the highest quality thing out there? Like, nah, but it's cheap, and the powertrain, is fun to fuck around with.
It'll hang together.
Yeah, it seems it. And when I rolled it to Cars and Coffee, to the motorcycle guys are like, oh yeah, cool, that's one of those. It's like this,
Right.
It's like you're in the club.
It's fun.
Yeah, you're in the club. It's not like
trying
like
to be
rolling up on
more.
like a Ninja 250.
It's not trying to be more than it actually is.
No.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like a thing for enthusiasts.
That's cool. Speaking of enthusiasts, I'm trying to get my dad's Harley rebuilt. Yeah, 69 Sportster, speaking of motorcycles.
Harley?
I have a 69 Sportster, yeah.
Really?
My dad left it
Where is
behind.
it?
Right now, it's at a place called Power Plant down on Melrose. Those guys,
I've heard of that, I think.
they're a motorcycle shop,
I've heard of them.
And they've got the kind of like the right vibe for what I was looking for in terms of putting it back together.
What is the vibe?
Just that they like the patina of things.
right.
They're not going to try to restore it. We're going to.
How fucked was it?
It's not. It was 100% complete. My dad had it in. He took it apart. So he bought it when he came to California.
It's a 69 Sportster?
1969 Harley
Can you
Sportster.
give me I can't picture, I can picture a Sportster, but I can't picture a 69 Sportster.
So he bought it when he came to California. He took it apart and rebuilt it in his living room on the second floor.
Gee.
Right. And then he couldn't get it out the door, so he took it back apart.
Oh, that's
brought it
hilarious. That's like
downstairs.
the Lamborghini guy who had to fucking tear the wall down.
And he put it back together. Anyway, he rode it for a bunch of years, and in 1979, he took it apart when he bought his 79 Shovelhead. And so my dad rode a Harley when I was born, but the bike he had taken apart, he put in the garage, and he kept it for 40 years. Right?
In pieces?
In every single piece, in a bag or a box, marked and labeled. The paint on the fender and the gas tank, whatever, is
That's
the
a
same.
pretty cool looking bike, actually.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
So, it has a late model front end, so it has disc brakes, so it stops.
Oh, that's
but
good.
It's got a 1200 stroker kit, so it's got some power. But it's still a magneto bike, no battery. It's just.
That's cool. It looks good.
It's a cool old bike.
Yeah.
But what's cool is that my dad made it kind of a bit of a chopper, but not really a chopper, but like he kind of had a hot rod Sportster. And he always said it was my bike. So right now, that's the plan, is to get.
So did you
these guys.
literally get it in crates and pieces?
I got it in pieces, and we had made it a rolling
Were
chassis.
all the pieces there?
100%.
Okay, cool.
I think he lost one or two bolts.
Oh, that's what
Like no big deal.
Yeah.
So we made it a rolling chassis probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and we just never finished putting it together. It needed an engine rebuild, and we don't have the fucking time. We just don't have time. We're busy doing cars, right? We're not motorcycle guys.
Yeah.
So after he passed away, I've always wanted to like finish this project. So I found these guys on Instagram. And
Sounds
I checked
like we
them
need
out.
some kind of a television show. Yeah. Restore.
Restore
this mic.
So I gave it to Yaniv over at Power Plant, with the intention of him just kind of rebuilding the bike and putting it back together, used with patina.
Right,
it's all
right.
original patina, and just ride the thing, man.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited
It's
about
fun.
it.
When do you think that'll be done?
I don't have a clue. I know what projects take. Like
Yeah.
it's done when it's done.
Yeah.
But
That's cool. I didn't know you had a bike.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you rode.
Oh man, I rode for years.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I used to ride Ducatis. I used to race motorcycles.
Oh, really?
Gee
Oh,
whiz.
shit.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't know that either.
Marco
Yeah.
got some secrets.
I don't know why. Yeah, I just assumed
Got
Porsche.
secrets over there.
No, I mean, your 20s, you're invincible.
Yeah.
I crashed a few times. I crashed in turn 5 at Laguna Seca on a checkered flag lap. Because I was still racing the guy on the 1200. I was on my 750. He was on his 1200, and I finally fucking beat him around the corner. I late braked him into.
You went outside?
I late braked him into 4, and we were definitely still racing, and I pulled him through 4, and I just stayed on it, and I took it real deep into 5 and got on the gas too soon and just lit the back up.
Whoops.
It went one way, I went the other way.
Oh, no. You didn't
Yeah.
get like run over.
No, but I ended up in the sand. It sucked. And anyway, that was fun. That was like a good 5 or 6, 7 years that I rode, just like all the time.
I don't have the balls for that shit.
Oh, it was so much fun, man. It was so much fun.
Take the scooter things.
Yeah, I started with what was my first bike? Like a Ducati 916.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, I had a
Are
916.
they collectible yet?
The Gerace bikes are.
The what?
The Gerace built motorcycle. The Gerace 916. So the
What is
first
a
one.
Gerace 916?
It was built in Gerace, Italy.
Oh, as opposed to?
As opposed to, I don't remember where
Did they move the factory?
The factory burned down.
Oh.
And they moved production to, I forget where. But so the Gerace 916s are really collectible. The rest of them are just nice bikes to have.
Huh.
And then there are certain, like, the 851, the 888, 996, SPA, SPS, that shit.
Special ones.
Yeah.
I know the special
just
ones.
like a Carrera
There's some guy
RS
who,
and
there's some
whatever.
guy who rolls a fucking like an old MotoGP BP.
The MV Agusta that shows up at...
Well, there's that, but no, there's a guy who rolls a
Cars of COVID.
Ducati Desmo like MotoGP bike from like the 70s or 80s, late 70s, I think.
That's cool.
It idles like it burns race gas, like it idles at like
Yeah.
2,500 RPM or something. It's obnoxious, but it rules.
Yeah, man, I did a lot of motorcycle riding for a long time. That's where I actually experienced the crest, That's what I learned about Angeles Crest Highway. I mean, I'd been up there a bunch before then and after then, but riding a motorcycle up the crest with guys who'd been doing it for 40 years,
no
that are
thanks.
effortlessly fast. You're riding a sport bike and they're walking away from you on their multistrada, and you're like, shit, that guy's 70 years old and he just dusted me. It gives you perspective. It gives you humility. So I became a better driver from learning my ego was easily crushed on a motorcycle.
You get checked up there on the crest.
Fuck
you
yeah.
get checked
I
very
got
easily.
Yeah.
I went on one of those rides that was like the pre-LA Auto Show ride that the moto journalists go on. And from the second we pulled out of the garage, it was like the Isle of Man TT. And I immediately was like, nah, I don't have this. Nope.
Back of the pack.
Do not have this.
Back of the pack.
Yeah, I was very back of the pack that day, but it's,
I met a lot of really great people on motorcycles. Like, they're different than car people. They have a different sense of community. Not that it's better or worse. It's just different. It's like a tighter knit.
I think there's a little less ego because there's so few of them, and because
the risk is so high.
That's
There's
what I
so much
think.
more at stake.
Yeah, they're looking out for each other's lives
Yeah.
sometimes up there.
I lost
it's
a couple
brotherhood.
of friends up there, and that's when I really stopped riding up the crest.
well, the CHP
way I
guys
was.
say they scrape people off there every day. Basically.
They do.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
Several a week.
Yeah,
It's
sketchy.
terrible.
Yeah,
But
that's why I go fast in cars.
yeah, cars are much safer.
Yeah.
And,
They
I
are.
got kids now.
And I can be invisible in the city in my bike. I like that.
Yeah.
It's easy. People, it's not like New York. It's not like in LA. It's not like New York where people are real angry and looking to dart all the time. The problem in LA is people are on their phone. And when they're on their phone, they continue really in the direction that they were going
Yeah,
for enough
no moves.
time that you can get by them and then just be gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Put them behind you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's my
And that's
game.
why you ride the 300, because the 300
Goes
zero
90.
to but it's all about that. The 0 to 40 is where it's real quick.
It's got some squirt.
Yeah, the 0 to 40 is real fast.
Nice.
And like I say, I can beat anyone in a drag race that doesn't know I'm racing them.
Oh man, this place is great. I really like what you've done with the place.
It's good in here, huh?
It's nice. This is
a
a
good
lot
studio.
different than the dentist's office.
Yeah, but John was very nice dentist. And
I'm
he's
sure
still my
he's
dentist.
wonderful. Is he really? Yes. Is he mad that you left? He's like, no,
No, he came to the open house. He was super stoked.
Nice.
I thought I was going to be there for a year, dude. I was there for 5. That guy loves me.
Yeah. Yeah. You left it better than you probably came in too, right?
It's the only place I have ever rented in my life where I've gotten the security deposit back.
And you got it? Did you get it back because he's your dentist, or did you get it back?
No, I got it back because it's actually like we didn't do anything. We didn't paint any walls. We didn't do anything.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's go to the people.
All right.
We must have. I saw a couple reds come up.
Yeah.
For the people. We got a bunch.
$150,000 budget. Thinking of getting an R8
An R8
V10.
V10 Plus. That's a good car because it's comfortable. I tried a 991 Turbo S, but I didn't fit in the seat well. Well, I did in a 992. I'm 6'3" and 220. Well, a 991 Turbo S has several different seat options. So to say I didn't fit in the seat well doesn't necessarily describe the whole thing. The R8, you're really talking, it's a pretty narrow window here we're talking about. R8s are really nice for people of your size, which is basically my height but skinnier. Also, I mean, what else is good for tall people? For $150K.
Mercedes GT.
AMG GTs are pretty good for tall people. They have a lot of leg room. The GTC is, I think, my particular favorite. And let's see.
I just don't. I mean, how could you fit in a 991 not fit in a 991 and fit in a 992? There's something weird going on there.
I think they're just different seats.
Yeah.
I think they're different seats. I really
push
think there's a
down on
lot
the
of
thing
crossover.
So the seat goes lower, and then push back so it goes back.
There's not
you
that
fit.
much difference for me.
No.
In those, but okay. Oh man, what else would a tall person want?
A truck, a Raptor,
right?
You know.
No, I mean for sports cars, it's really like Porsche and R8 are the two most comfy. I mean, you get a used 458; they're very comfortable for tall people. Actually, surprisingly,
could you get one for $150,000?
Yeah, it'll have a bunch of miles on it, but you could.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really all I got for 150.
And I mean, the
150
R8
is actually a tough number for tall people.
The R8 and the 991 are such different cars.
Yeah,
they're like at opposite ends of the spectrum.
The R8 is much more exotic. The 991 is much more practical and normal.
Yeah, what are you buying it for? It's the question.
Maybe, I mean, Aston Martins. I mean, they're not as exciting as the R8 or as the 911 Turbo S, but they're good for tall people.
Like a Vantage?
Either a V8 Vantage, which comes in a stick. DBSs would be too expensive, but yeah, that's really all I got, man. Sorry.
That's tough.
Has Marco's wife tried the matzo ball soup? I don't think I have. I don't think she has. Did she?
No, but we've cooked some pretty good stuff with you guys.
Yes, but the matzo ball soup, I don't think so specifically. And can I post the recipe? I gotta find the best way to do it because the recipe for Carl's matzo ball soup is so complicated and it's really hard. Like, it's the hardest thing that I know how to cook.
But you cook it right.
I do, but it's like every step has multiple sub-steps. It's really dish intensive. Like, it really, Carl, you know, he worked in a restaurant. He had dishwashers.
He had sous chefs, yeah.
Yeah, like he could just throw dishes into the fucking sink. Like, if you actually make this thing from scratch in your home, it takes like 4 hours and it uses tons of dishes.
So speaking of Carl, right? So you had his anniversary of his passing.
Yeah, it was Monday.
Just the other day, right?
Yeah, it was Monday. Or Sunday.
I am still looking for the Kontiki. To this day.
An Eterna Kontiki?
Yeah, they're all in Europe.
Yeah,
or in other countries.
After we started talking about it, there was a run on those.
They
and
vaporized.
They were
man. Gone.
Yeah,
I'm still
it's a cool
looking.
watch.
Yeah, it's a really bitchin' watch.
Yeah.
That's the Carl thing that
If you were happen to be looking, Jay, it's an Eterna Kontiki.
Yeah.
It's a very nice watch that Carl was a big fan of. They're like $1,100, I think.
Yeah, they're really affordable.
They're reasonably,
and they're just cool
but
looking.
they're really cool.
The second hand is like this square
It's
floating thing.
yeah, the Kentucky. That's on the one on the left, on the
Far
all the way
left,
left. Yeah, that one. Oh, $2,100. Holy
Now,
shit.
see, but that's the thing. It's because it's in Europe. But you go on Chrono 24, it's probably a lot
mesh
cheaper.
bracelet. You know, similar look to my Seiko Turtle.
It also looks kind of like an Omega Seamaster 300.
Yes, it's a very nice piece.
It's cool, man.
Yeah. Oh, sorry again.
Who set this place up?
Cheers to the arm.
Maybe we should have made the arm come from the right side.
Cheers to the
I gotta
arm.
move the drinks over here now. Anything else, Jay? What else we got?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. There were a couple.
And all I came here to do was smoke a cigar, man.
Opinion. We'll smoke a cigar in a minute. Opinions on gated automatics. Gated automatics.
What?
Like the Jaguar with the J, or like the Mercedes with the puzzle. Like what's a gated like?
I
or
love
like the.
I had a 500E that had a gate in an automatic.
It had the jigsaw. Yeah.
I was bitching, man.
Is that gated?
I mean, it's
or
as
is it
gated as it
is
gonna
it
get.
gated like?
Or like where you flop it over
like
and you get
like a Sportomatic?
the
No,
original
or like,
Tiptronic.
or what about the
put it in
Ferrari
D and flop it over.
Vallejo?
What the fuck is that?
A Vallejo? You don't know what that was?
Never heard of a
It was
Vallejo.
a manual with it was a clutchless manual.
So it's the Porsche Sportomatic
Basically,
or the
but it
VW
had
Auto
a gate.
stick.
But it had a gate.
That's weird.
It had an actual gate.
So Porsche had the Sportomatic, which
Yeah.
isn't gated technically, but it is a manual
manual,
gearbox
yeah.
with an automatic clutch.
Yeah, the Ferrari did them in the Mondial for a couple of years.
Ew.
And then they built what's his name? Agnelli.
Okay.
Didn't Agnelli have a leg injury, so he couldn't drive stick?
Oh, is that's the story?
I think so. I think Agnelli had a leg injury or something that he couldn't drive stick, and they built him an F40 with a Vallejo clutch.
Really?
In it. Yeah, there's
That's
one.
cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know how cool it is, but like,
I mean, it's cool if you
in
can't drive
theory,
stick
it's
and you
great.
own the fucking company and you can do that shit.
Did you? Yeah, they made a Sportomatic 914 also.
Yuck. No thanks.
You're like
take it.
yuck on the 914 from the beginning anyway.
I'm not that into 914s.
yeah, well.
Porsche shops we suggest in New York City, Long Island. Speed Sport Tuning. Yeah, I
don't know
like
anyone
Speed
out-
Sport Tuning.
I don't know anyone on the island. I know some people in Connecticut.
Yeah, no, I don't do. You don't do anything on Long Island. Even my family, which is they're from Long Beach, which is the island next to Long Island. It's not. There's a body of water there. It's not Long Island. Try to not associate ourselves really with them. I think Champion is the one in Long Island, and for Porsche, I mean, yeah, Speed Sport Tuning for sure in Connecticut is.
They're the ones
very
in
good.
Danbury, right?
They're in Danbury.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very
They're
good. Yeah. If you want bodywork, I don't know about bodywork. I mean, I don't. Bodywork is a separate thing. You know, there's people. The people who I would go to build an engine are not the people I would generally go to
I don't
do
hammer
bodywork.
panels.
Yeah, right.
I'm not a panel beater.
Grayson says thoughts on the. Jay, there is a if you click viewer activity on the tab on the left there, it should.
Oh.
That should be, yeah, there we go.
Oh gosh, I'm
There we
sorry.
go.
There we go.
That's okay.
Okay, you're
That's just
teaching
very
me
helpful.
stuff. This is much better.
All right.
Jay knows much about Switchercast, and that's about
Yeah,
YouTube.
YouTube's new.
Grayson, thoughts on the Viper ACR? That's a street legal race car.
They're cool as shit.
They're very cool, but there are a few cars that are really street legal homologation type race cars.
Yeah.
The Senna sort of is one, even though it's not really a race car. The Ford GT, the new one, certainly is one.
Those are cool.
You know, shit like the Gumpert Apollo and CLK GTR.
It's a rabbit hole, man.
But the ACR, like, I've driven ACRs on the street. Like, they're fucking miserable on the street. They are. They're really fast. They're really precise. It's like a scalpel, but they're at the
commitment.
absolute upper edge of manual gearbox performance. The car is really faster than me in that regard. And also, like, they beat the absolute shit out of you on the street.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They're cool for what they are, though. I mean, if
Yeah.
you want a car that's
and like a
aggressive.
7-year-old Viper is like a great value.
they're pretty cheap.
They're
They were cheap. They were cheap when they were new.
They're cheap when they were new, and now, you know, you can get like an 05 Viper for like 30.
Really?
Yeah,
30
yeah,
grand?
yeah.
I was thinking 40, but yeah, I mean, but it's been
cool.
the same car since 1998.
Pretty much. They're cool.
It hasn't moved.
Anything else up there, Jay?
I'm
that's
really
it for
sorry
now.
I don't bring
Is
in the money like Zuckerman and Spike, man.
Bro, that's not the money. The money is in the advertising.
Make the money.
The money is in the advertising. No, it's okay. You were just here, and I was like, oh, we could just do a show because you were here. It's not even really that much about cars.
It's good. It's good. It's nice to catch up.
Yeah, it's good.
Congratulations
to, like,
on the
sit here
building.
on a Friday, and thanks, man.
I took some pictures of the cathedral room.
The cathedral room is good. The
It's
light
fucking big,
bends
man.
very well in the cathedral room.
It's really tall. Like it's like you like from the outside, you really don't get a sense of how large the building is. Like you really
Right.
don't. It's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
You know, like you pull
there's other
up
tall
on
buildings
it,
around.
but also you pull up on it and you see kind of the F. You know that you guys, but not.
Yeah.
It's not.
The F is 30 feet tall.
But my point is, it's not like.
God, is it really?
Yes, that's
You
the
would-
thing.
Then I agree with all of this.
This-
you wouldn't
the-
realize that.
The window
see it.
behind you is the center of the F.
Yeah.
It goes higher than that window.
So my point is that you pull up on it and it's actually from a straight on, it's very noticeable. But from as you're pulling up
From
on
the
it,
side, it's not so
it's
much.
like
Yeah,
real
yeah, yeah.
casual. Then you would get into the place and you don't realize the scale of it until you walk into the room. And it's fucking big.
It
I was
doesn't.
like,
It doesn't
goes
scale
up
on
and up and
Instagram
up.
so well.
No,
you know
it
what I
doesn't.
mean?
It's-
Yeah.
And I got to pick. Like,
Instagram's good for watches because they're small and they fill the screen.
well, the house and the watch are the same size. That's the
the
old
Instagram
bit, right?
game.
Yeah, but it's just really cool to see this thing kind of come together and.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I love
nice.
I love podcasting in this room, and I love working in this fucking shop.
That's
It's
a great
really
room
cool.
too. I remember when you laid
beautiful
this
room.
out on the floor. You're like, I've got this grand idea. I'm like, okay.
It worked out.
It worked out. I was like digging through photos the other day, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a picture of Matt with all this shit laid out on the floor.
really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was a big night.
It's good. Were we drunk? Was
Yeah,
I drunk?
I threw a bird scooter in the trash can.
Oh yeah.
That fucking thing, man. It quit on me.
Yeah.
It just quit. Like
Trent Reznor said it best. When you have a piece of equipment that doesn't work when it's called upon, that piece of equipment needs to die. He said that. What's the purpose? He said that on the Garden. He said that at the Garden into the microphone in the middle of a concert immediately after he smashed a keyboard
for not making the right noise.
Yeah, like one of those like really expensive keyboards, like a Korg or
Oh my
whatever.
God.
You know.
Moog.
Yeah, like a
Moog.
huge
Yeah.
keyboard. Something happened. He took it. He smashed the fucking whole thing on stage, and he
That's
was like,
brilliant.
"My stuff doesn't work. It's got to die." All right, cool, Trent.
That is fucking magnificent.
That's wild.
Yeah. He's
Nice.
making some good stuff these days.
Trent Reznor.
Yeah.
Didn't he just get an Emmy or something? He just got.
That's what I'm saying. He's got into like television and movies. You know?
Do you think Trent Reznor likes his Emmy?
I don't think he gives a shit.
There's a great the documentary about Pearl Jam called PJ20. It's from a couple years ago, the 20th anniversary of the band, and Stone Gossard, their rhythm guitar player, is literally like in his basement in his house. The camera crew's following him, and he's like digging through boxes and just like tossing shit aside, like old merch and whatever. It's his basement. It's just junk, whatever. He fucking pulls out a Grammy. He goes, "Oh look, a Grammy!" And it's
Oh,
like
my
so
God.
dirty. It's like fuck hunks.
Yeah, right. You don't do it for the award. You do it
Yeah.
because you have to do it. That's why I build cars, honestly. I mean, not to like steer this thing anything, but that's why I do what I do.
Are you trying to steer?
I felt like he was steering. Stop steering.
Fuck you. No, but like, isn't that why you do what
was
it
such an
is
easy
that you
open.
do? Like, because
Because I can't do anything
enjoy-
else? Yes.
I thought it's because you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, but now I've done it for so long that I can't do anything else. If you ask me it's hard enough to get me to work in my own shop for a full office day. That's difficult for me. To get me to work at someone else's office, fuck out of here.
I don't know,
It's not gonna
man.
happen.
I still enjoy what I do. It's hard.
I
but
enjoy
I
it
enjoy
too.
it.
I enjoy it too.
I wouldn't rather do anything else.
No, I certainly wouldn't rather do anything else.
Yeah,
No,
I
no.
closed the shop at 3:00 today.
To come here?
Fuck yeah!
I get to close the shop at 3:00 tomorrow because that's when we close.
Oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, tomorrow we are
open
closed.
it, but we open at 6. I'm working 6 to 3 tomorrow, dude.
Are you actually here? You personally are here from 6 to 3?
No, no,
Okay, then.
no.
Okay.
I have.
When is Matt's office hours?
I have office hours. I absolutely have office hours.
All right.
I am absolutely not saying them on the show.
There you
Perfect.
go.
That's
where I wanted. That's where I
good.
wanted to get. That's where I wanted to get to. But you did not pick up what I was laying down, so I had to say it very directly. I'm not saying what my fucking office hours are. I rotate them every week. By the way, they're never the same.
It's a moving target.
We change the schedule every week.
Yeah.
It's the smartest move.
That's good. Don't tell anyone where you're going to be ever.
Yeah. Well, a couple people figured out. Well, I'll say this: a couple people figured out that they could call the shop and get me once in a while, and we just be like, "Hey, is this Matt?" Yeah. what do you think?
I want to ask you a question.
What do you think about the 2004? And I was like, oh God, this is a hard no.
Yeah. You can't answer the phone.
Let it be said publicly that the very next day, Eric, my GM, came in and I went, guess what part of your fucking job just became? And now all phone calls are going to Eric. So don't even think about calling here thinking you're going to get my ass.
That's what happens to me, man.
You will not get.
Hey, do you have a minute to chat? Well, I'm building a motor. So I have this car I'm looking to buy. It's like,
yes.
whoa. Pump the brakes. Let me get your credit card number.
Yeah.
wait, what? I mean, this is my
This is
time.
my
This is how
time.
I
We're
make a
booking
living.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna book this.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Thanks. All right. Have a nice day. You
Bye.
can email me. I'll spend all the time in the world.
Yeah.
It's Marco@TLGauto.com. Go right ahead. If I'm taking a shit, I got all the time in the world.
Net 7.
But yeah, that's the thing, right?
Yeah. You only got 7 days, homie. You only got 5 days. 6 days.
Let's not talk about how many days a week I work.
BR Profit says, is there a Japanese car that's nearly as engaging, dailyable, and refined as an E46 M3, but that costs less to buy and own? TL Type S manual or Lexus ISF? ISF maybe. I don't know if that costs less to own or buy.
What about a Subaru?
Then that's not as no.
It's Japanese.
But it's not as good as an M3. It's refined? Refined? No.
Not
That's no
refined.
way.
No way it was
A
refined.
stock
Absolutely.
Nissan Skyline GTR is, but you have to be willing to drive right hand, and they're not necessarily cheaper than an E46 M3.
What about a modern Nissan Skyline?
Like a Q60?
No. What is it?
A G35?
No, man. The
GTR, you mean, right?
GTR. Thank
Yeah.
you.
A new, like a
No, like that's a
R35
recent-
GTR?
yeah,
It's
like a
way
recent
priced
one.
out of it, though.
Way
Oh,
more
okay, all right.
expensive, and also not nearly as any of those things.
All right. Well, so here I am. I have no idea.
The GTR I never found it very refined. It was always kind of
always
a
clunky.
rattle. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
really?
Even when it was brand new.
All right, then. All right.
Less to buy and own than an E46 M3, but engaging, dailyable, and refined. ISF is probably a good one.
I did hot laps in an ISF at Laguna. That was a great car.
I mean, what late model Mercedes can you get for $30,000 that's fun?
But he specifically said Japanese.
Oh, Japanese, right? That's a good point. Lexus GS 350s.
A G35 is not a bad car.
I'm not into.
You hate them
G35s.
for the reasons that people put
They're
stupid
just very
exhausts on them.
bland. They're very bland cars. They're not. I mean, other than the fact that it's rear-wheel drive,
What
it has
about
very
the
little character.
M45 or what it was?
Infinity M45.
Oh,
those are
the first edition M45s weren't that bad. They were kind of like
dude,
muscle cars. You know?
M3 money, if you're willing to drive on the right-hand side of the car, goes a really long way. It really does. You can buy some dope shit. Like you can buy a sick Supra Turbo or a sick RX-7 Turbo or a Skyline GTR, like a R32 or R33, if it's stock, and I really mean stock, is an experience that is, even if you go back to 1994 or 95, that experience will rival like an E90 Series 3 Series BMW
Now,
in terms of refinement.
Well, I was going to say, is it because of the fact that it's the novelty of the right-hand drive, or is it the actual car
independent
itself?
of the fact that it's right-hand drive.
Because it's not the novelty factor.
The RB powertrain is incredibly smooth. It's very powerful. It has a really nice tone that it makes when you rev it out. If kept pretty much stock, it's a pretty robust powertrain. And it's really, the steering is really good. The brakes are good. You know, the shocks are fine. You can easily upgrade to a variety of things in shocks if you wanted, but they're just really cool, nice cars. I mean, if you really want Japanese, like, I would say your best value is driving on the right-hand side of the car.
So look JDM.
Yeah.
Basically. That's cool.
Brooks wants you to do more videos. He wants you to do more videos working on cars.
Okay.
That's easy.
Who am I going to hire to do the videos while I'm working?
Adrian wants us to talk about on the rising trend of overlanding and the Lexus GX470. Well, the GX470 is a very nice truck. Sold overseas as the Land Cruiser Prado. It falls sort of halfway between a regular Toyota and a full-on Land Cruiser, because regular Toyotas are built with 10-year service lives in mind. Land Cruisers are built with 25-year service lives in mind. That's why Land Cruisers are so ridiculously expensive. That's why like a Land Cruiser's $85,000 is because of that extra robustness that's built into Land Cruiser.
That's wild. I never knew that.
Yeah. I only knew that because I went on the press launch.
I was going to say, that's
wild,
a
though.
very like specific bit of information.
Yeah,
but if you
they don't market that in a way that
They
they
should.
Yeah, but they don't.
Like, that is actually very valuable. And it's like, why is that shit so expensive? Well, now I know.
It's
Yeah.
like buying the light bulb that lasts longer.
Yeah,
right.
it's
The
like
life
buying-
cycle is longer.
Yeah, Toyota doesn't
It's
really
not as
seem interested
expensive
in
as it seems. Right.
No, but I think it makes their other products sound worse.
Right. Interesting.
Is why
That's
they
funny.
don't want to. They don't want to do that.
So what are your thoughts on the rising trend of overlanding?
Well, look, what else can we do?
Well, that's the
I
thing.
mean, everything is closed.
But also, the more people there are on the roads, the farther away from people you need to get.
Right.
So overlanding makes sense. Getting
Right.
out into the dirt and the mountains.
Spread
and
everybody
fuck
out.
of
I just read a
everything.
survey that said a third of new car purchasers consider off-road ability to be in their top priority. A third.
Yeah, not me.
Not me either, but I understand. I mean, the idea, camping is up. You know how many rooftop tents I'm seeing out there?
All the
fucking right now?
COA you can have.
Everybody's got a rooftop tent.
Yeah.
Zach, God bless Jay Ryan. We love Jay Ryan, but the reason Zach's not sitting in that chair right now is because he's van camping.
Really?
Yes, that's why. Zach,
What kind of van?
I don't know.
Aerostar.
He rented something.
Tell me he's in an Aerostar.
I don't know. They rented something.
Previa.
I don't know what it is.
Fuck, man. I'd love to see him camping in a Previa.
But
Sorry.
Anyway, I mean the GX470 is nice, and I mean if I understand why people want to go off road. It's where you can bring your people and be away from everybody else.
Everybody
makes a
wants
whole lot of sense.
her away time.
Yeah, a friend of mine got one of those Earth Roamer things. You ever see them?
No.
Bring up a picture of an Earth Roamer, Jay. The Earth Roamer is it's like it's an RV with a Ford Super Duty front. It's very expensive. Toy hauler / RV meant for off road.
So it's like, what, 20 feet
It's an
long?
off road RV. Yeah, it's not that
Earth,
big.
what was it?
Roamer, Earth Roamer. It's not very big in the grand scheme of RVs, but they're very capable.
Jeez Louise.
And they're very expensive.
That is a
My buddy
apocalypse
got
vehicle.
one and I
Whoa.
checked it out. It was the fucking coolest.
This might be the move.
That thing looks like it could run things
It was like
over.
500 grand.
Like we're all going to be Mad Max soon, right?
But I get it. Why wouldn't you want to be able to bring your hotel room with you?
See, I have a Volkswagen
I've been doing this
Beetle.
on boats for years.
I have a Volkswagen Beetle. That thing will go across the African desert.
Yes,
I
it
learned
will.
that.
It will.
So I'm good to go.
It will.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to build a tent.
Marco, look at the inside of these things.
The inside of an Earth Roamer is very nice.
That's pretty
This
nice.
is like what Tom Green's going to go around the country with. It's crazy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is Tom Green?
I haven't heard that
He's,
name in
he's leaving.
ages.
Yeah, he's leaving in a week to do like a cross country up to Canada thing.
Funny, I've
He's
been
gonna-
back and
he's-
forth
he's
across the country 4 times.
Built a
in
podcast.
911.
Built a podcast studio in the thing and everything.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
if
need
you
one of those.
well, yeah, but come on.
I mean, I
You
would
don't
rather
You
go
don't
in
need
that.
one of those, but come on.
Yeah.
You don't want that? You don't want to fucking live in that?
I did LA to DC in 48 hours.
Well, that
was cool. That was
Well,
fun.
that sounds terrible. I mean,
was
honestly,
a
that
lot
sounds
of driving.
horrible.
A lot of
Yeah,
driving.
that's. I'm not about that at all. It sounds like shitty.
I got a big ticket in
What was
in
the one
Wyoming.
other one? Wait,
A
yeah.
big fucking ticket.
We got whatever. Oh, Luis Correa. Would we ever consider taking a car to TJ for body work?
I literally had a client tell me yesterday that he had a VW Type 3 he was considering taking to TJ for bodywork.
Yeah, I mean,
Apparently you have to bribe the border guards?
it might be sound advice. I don't know. I mean, does it have to go on a flatbed or can you
I
drive
don't
it?
know.
I imagine
I
if you
didn't
could
get too
drive
into
it
it.
there, that would help.
I didn't get too far into that conversation other than the fact that it was $450 specifically to bribe the border guards, and then you had to be there personally to get it back across the
Right.
border to, I guess, show ownership or something. I just think
I
it's,
can't imagine what kind of LA premium would justify such a fucking headache.
it's such a pain in the
Wasn't
ass.
that a thing back in the day though that people would go down there to get like tuck and rolls, get their upholstery done and everything?
Well,
I remember a movie about
upholstery
that.
is the one that I've heard of, where
Okay.
people, because apparently the Tijuana upholstery industry is really like convertible tops and seats and shit. Like apparently that is the move.
Like, if you want to tuck and roll, you go down there.
Yeah, and what I've really heard of is them sending the cushions. You send the seat
that makes
cushions down
sense.
there, and they send them back.
That makes a lot more
That
sense.
makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Someone who lives in Los Angeles drives a Focus ST and is considering going to Tijuana for body work on that ST has absolutely no clue what their time is worth. None.
I mean, that's, yeah, exactly. Thank you.
You have no idea because let's fucking shop this out real quick. Let's just shop this out.
Oh, God.
You start in LA. You drive to TJ, 3 hours.
3 hours, yeah.
You're across the border. Now you're in Tijuana. Now what? Now you got to find yourself a body shop.
Assume you found the body shop
Assume you found it.
beforehand. Okay, so it's 3
you're
hours
driving
down.
the car. So now you drop the car off.
Hey-o.
Now you're in Tijuana.
Cool.
No car.
But your buddy's wait. But your friend decided to come with you, so you have to pay his gas.
You got to pay his gas.
You got to pay his gas.
Now you got to go back across the border while
You're
you
gonna
work
stop
on your
at the,
car.
what is it, the Congo room or whatever it is down there.
Now we're talking 2 trips to TJ.
Yeah. Oh,
waiting in that borderline twice on the way back.
Waiting in that borderline once is enough for me.
Unless you really want a churro and a puppy, then that's really the
a
place.
glass sailing ship.
My
Chick-fil-A? Hello, sir,
brother-in-law John, his dog, straight up came from the TJ borderline.
Picked it up?
Puppy, got it at the border in Mexico.
They just picked it up.
Just bought it fucking cash from some dude who was walking.
And I'm sure it wasn't expensive.
I think it was $40. I mean, it was nothing.
Best $40.
Shout out to Pee-Pee. Pee-Pee rules.
Give that dog a better life.
Pee-Pee's dope. Yeah, Pee-Pee's good.
Look, I've been back and forth across the border a bunch of times. I have bought so many chiclets that I don't ever need to go back there again.
The point
I'm
being,
good.
there's almost no way that
It's
your
expensive.
actual math works out on that versus having body work done in the city you live in. Let me explain something to you about the LA premium. Go to East LA.
Right, Boyle Heights.
Go to fucking Riverside,
Heights,
bro. It's
yeah.
way easier.
But I mean, really think about the money that, like, what is the time worth? Like, how much do you make an hour?
Yeah.
How much does it cost to drive to TJ? How many
Right.
hours? Like,
Bro, my wife has no idea what her time is worth. She is an extremely successful executive at a social media company. She does well, right?
Right.
She puts me to shame. And I'm very proud of her, and I'm not jealous or anything. It's great. I don't have no ego about it. She is such a Jew. I have witnessed her leave the house and make a special trip to the grocery store to return bags of potato chips. $7 in potato chips.
but it's about the principle, man.
She spent like 40 minutes on this. I'm like, do you know what you're doing?
It's the principle of the thing, you know? I appreciate Hannah
People
because
have
she has
no idea what their
principles.
time is worth.
All right, would it be worth digging in the pockets? Come on.
Will Hannah and my dad be on the podcast soon? My dad went back to New York, and Hannah, we need to get back on the podcast. Kyle says MB is Frenchy. I'm not saying anything about the MC20 until I drive it. I'm sure I'll drive it eventually. That's the Maserati that is not out yet.
Yeah.
Kyle says, would it be worth digging deep into the pockets to get a 458 over an R8 V10 Plus? Is the extra $40K worth it? Here's the thing about that. In my opinion, $40K in, $40K out.
I agree with that.
I think you're not
Yeah.
spending that money. I think you're parking it.
Parking it. Yep.
Yeah. And so
And the driving experience is significantly different between the 458 and the V10 R8.
Yeah, the
significantly
R8
different.
is the German approach to a
Right.
supercar. It's
Right.
very precise.
And
The
sterile.
shifts will be exactly the same every single time, up down, exactly the same. The interior it will feel like an Audi. It'll be a nice Audi, but it'll feel Audi-like. And it's all-wheel drive. So your steering is going to be heavier. It's going to feel heavier at the front. For sure. And although the trunk is okay in an R8, it's smaller because there's an all-wheel drive differential up there. The 458, very light steering, very little weight on the front.
Like you're sitting on the front axle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
458s, they work really well. They're known for working properly, actually, which is an interesting reputation
new
to
and
get for a
different.
Ferrari.
Yeah, that's new and
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of the 458. I think the 458 is an excellent car. And so if you can afford the 40K difference to park it, it's worth a test drive. Go to like Exotics Racing or Dream Racing or one of those places.
Yeah.
That's where you can really spend a couple $100 well. If you're really shopping for a supercar, like go take 5 laps in the R8 and then go take 4 or 5 laps in a 458. Like
Yep.
you
Back
can
to back to
really,
back.
really get a sense. Yeah. That's $500 well spent if you're shopping. It's
great advice.
Yeah. Oh, good. Luis says the TJ strip clubs are open during the pandemic, so we can kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
That's a show, man.
It's a long one.
It's a long one. And it's the very end of a long open to close day for myself. Thanks for coming down, though.
You're welcome.
You want to have a cigar on the deck?
Let's go have a cigar on the cigar deck.
Yeah, let's have a cigar on the deck. I think that's a show for the weekend, and we're built up. We're built up on shows. We got a lot of shows.
Oh, good. So this won't drop for like 2 weeks.
But it's pretty evergreen, except for the beginning where we talked about Rosh Hashanah. It'll be Yom Kippur. It'll still apply.
I'm already hungry just thinking about it.
If you're in Los Angeles or the Valley, anywhere in the Valley, doesn't matter. The Valley's all the same. If you're in Los Angeles and you have an air cooled or even a water cooled Porsche, Marco at TLG Auto in North Hollywood will handle you. He will handle your vehicle.
I'll handle the vehicle, not you. So much.
I really fumbled it at the line there.
Look, here's the deal. We're a Porsche shop. If you need anything, call me. But actually, don't call me. Send me an email.
Don't call him because he's working.
Yeah,
he answers emails after work.
That's right. I actually, at lunchtime and after work is when I answer my emails. Yeah. I try to answer the phone, but like there's 3 of us at the shop. We don't have an office person. I do my best to return phone calls. Sometimes it takes a week. Sorry.
Whatever.
It's good stuff, but, it's tough. It's tough.
You just got incorporated. I mean, how can we
I did not just get fuck you. I did not just get incorporated. It's the things we learn.
That's called a callback.
Oh, boy.
A callback is usually a good place to end the show, right?
This is it. That's the time.
That's the show. The Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. All you need is a microphone, a connection to the internet, some friends who work on cars, and ideally something to say. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.